All right. So I want to show you how to use Trace Bitmap. Trace Bitmap is a function inside of Inkscape. All make one people. You should be looking at me. Hands should be off the mice. You should be looking up here, please. Say you wanted to, on today's, I'm going to ask you to make a sticker. We're not going to cut the stickers out today, but we're going to design them and send them over. So say you were like, I'm a real fan of Ford. Uh, uh, you could look up Ford logo. And then you can click images in Google. And you can often just right click on an image and say copy image, like I'm doing on this Ford truck logo or Ford car logo, and then go to Inkscape and paste. Sometimes it doesn't work because images are protected somehow. If it doesn't work, you can always get an image, or almost always, by holding down Shift Windows key S, and then Windows goes into this screenshot mode, and then you can drag around it, and then you have it on the clipboard as well. So the second one, probably not quite as good, but anyway, once you're in Inkscape, I'm going to zoom in now on this thing. Here's in fact, this is a great representation. Do you see on this line, it's like blurry, it's not smooth? That's because this is a bitmap. Bitmap is made of individual dots that are either on or off, and there's certain colors. And Inkscape uses paths and mathematical formulas. So what we're going to do is trace this and turn it into a path, which is something you can edit and manipulate and change the colors of, and then we can laser cut and vinyl cut. So under the path menu, there's something that says Trace Bitmap. If you do that, it brings up a fairly confusing window, but if you just say apply, on a lot of images, it works just great. Now I'm going to delete the bitmap. We don't want that kept around in Inkscape, but check out this when I zoom in. It continues to be very smooth. It is not all blurry on the edge. So what happened is Inkscape made a path version of that logo. And you can tell something's a path because if you double click, you get these little nodes, these little squares appear that are called nodes. I was trying to zoom in, but they keep them small, so you can't see them. Remember, we can edit nodes. We did this in Inkscape 2. I'm going to undo because I don't want to wreck the logo. But you can also turn the fill on and off. So if we go back to object, fill, and stroke, you can turn off the fill. And I know Ford disappeared, but you go to stroke and turn it on, and there's the logo. So if on today's sticker, if you wanted to do a Ford logo on it because you're a Ford fan, you could go ahead and do that. You can do often. People do. You get all kinds of things. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you could say T-Rex if you wanted a dinosaur. And now, often you'll get really detailed things, and these things wouldn't work. I'll show you one that's not good. This one is not. This one would not be a good thing. If we did a trace bitmap with this, it's way too complicated. So trace bitmap works best. See, when I trace this, I'm sure you can still tell it's a T-Rex, but this would not make a good sticker. It's way too complicated. You can't have a sticker with 1,000 pieces because when you try to peel off the parts, you want to, all the pieces are going to go to hell and it'll just be terrible. So one tip I have for you is watch this. If I did T-Rex and then I typed silhouette, S-I-L, I know silhouette's hard to spell, but S-I-L-H, and then it usually pops up. And then you get T-Rex images that are just black and white with cleaner lines. And so if I took this T-Rex and said copy, go back to Inkscape, paste, and then path menu, trace bitmap, and then you have to click apply over here. Then don't forget to throw away the one that you pasted in. But here's a T-Rex, and you double click and you can see nodes on it. So that means it's going to work on the laser and the vinyl cutter. The vinyl cutter in particular will only work with paths. So you can't just take a logo and paste it into a sticker and then send it over. It won't work. It has to be a path. You have to do trace bitmap before you can send something to the vinyl cutter. One other very important thing, and it's in today's assignment, but if you wanted on this name sticker is the name of the assignment. You don't have to do your name, but if you were going to do your name, you type your name and you say I wanted a T-Rex and I wanted my name, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm done. I'm going to send it over. I'm asking you to double click on your name and then see what happens. Notice how this turns into the editing blinking cursor, it's called. That it has to not do that. Before you can cut a sticker out, any text that you typed has to be a path. So you have to select it. Notice I have my name selected, and under the path menu, you say object to path. And now I know it looks the same, but watch when I double click now, I get nodes. I get nodes instead of an edit cursor, and that means it's ready to send over to the vinyl cutter. One other thing, I do ask that you uh, uh, turn off fill before you send things to the vinyl cutter. It's a way of making sure that you've done your homework, which is that you've got a path. So I'm turning off the fill. I'm going to turn on the stroke. See, why did the fill not turn off? There we go. Turn off the fill, turn on the stroke. So this is much better, much more ready to go to the sticker. So notice I double click again. I get nodes instead of an edit cursor. So if you send over your sticker, you're like, whatever, I'm not going to pay attention to Hayes. You send over your sticker, and I can double click on your name and it starts editing. I'm just going to say, hey, Frankie, your sticker's not ready. Can you read the instructions? It says it in the instructions. Please do object to path before you consider yourself done. So I'm going to edit the name sticker assignment. That's what we're doing today. We're not cutting them out today, but I'd love you to make the sticker, try to get it done, save it, turn it in on the Google Classroom, email it to the address. There's an email address at the bottom of the assignment. It's the vinyl, VINYL, and then it's like the laser. We email it over there, and then that address is up on that computer. Any questions? Yes?
Can you use that same technique with the picture for the assignment before or the stop?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.